So Nintendo just suddenly decided to shadow drop the final trailer for the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 DLC, Future Redeemed, out of nowhere. And there is so much to break down here. Like for example the fact that the only 2 lines said by Rex in the entire trailer are literal memes. And the fact that, what is he doing here? How did you get here? Gotta love Monolith, man. They are cooking. So I thought it would be interesting to try to analyze and break down the trailer to see what secrets Monolith are hiding. Ignoring the start of the trailer for now, the first 2 characters of the main party we are properly introduced to is the Agnian soldier Glimmer and the Kevesi mechanical engineer Nikol, as they are meeting on the battlefield as enemies in what may seem like a very similar setup to what happens in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 when the group first become Ouroboros. And even though nothing is confirmed yet, they both share a striking resemblance to Shulk and Fiora and Rex and Pyro respectively, which might actually mean that Glimmer is the offspring of Rex and Pyro that we see in the ending cutscene of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 in Pyro's arms. When translating some additional information we have gotten for the characters from the Japanese Xenoblade Twitter account, it seems Glimmer has inherited the strong and sometimes harsh personality of Mythra, while having a similar hairstyle to Numa and Pyro's eyes. Also, this might just be me, but her overall character design actually strikes somewhat of a resemblance to Pyro's beta design. But please let me know if I'm insane for thinking this. Nikol naturally seems like Shulk and Fiora's kid, sharing a striking facial similarity to the younger Shulk of Xenoblade 1. And it looks like he has inherited Fiora's slightly darker hair color and green eyes. Him being a mechanical engineer only feels like a natural progression from Shulk's obsession with tampering with machines in Xenoblade 1. And it seems like he fights using huge mechanical arms instead of blades like most do. Waldy would be proud. And you just gotta love the dynamic between these characters according to the relation chart released by Monolith on Twitter, as this really confirms Glimmer's relations to Mythra. Agnus Vehicle will lose. Shut up, you're too loud. Next up we meet Noah, I mean Matthew, and his partner in crime, A. Yeah, that's literally just the name. It's A. It's A. And Matthew is interestingly enough the only main Xenoblade character so far that actually specializes in melee combat, as he fights using Ouroboros knuckles, which is a blade passed down to him by his grandfather and the city's founder, Gondor. The Ouroboros knuckles is said to have a similar power to that of the Ouroboros stones themselves, although that power seems to be compromised for now. So we actually don't know a whole lot about A, other than that she contrasts well with Matthew, in that she's usually pretty level-headed and composed, while Matthew on the other hand tends to rush into battle without much thought. It also seems like the general consensus among the fandom right now is that A bears a lot of resemblance to Alvis, which would make a lot of sense since she goes by A, and we know that Alvis will be very important to the story one way or another. It's also revealed that Matthew has a younger sister called Nile, and according to the relationship chart released by Monolith, it looks like she has somehow gone missing. So finding her might be one of Matthew's driving motivations during large chunks of the story. Now when it comes to Nile herself, she's stated to be a very kind and loving person that wants nothing more than the conflict between Mobius to end. Interestingly enough, in her official art it looks like she's using some sort of ether shields, which would make a lot of thematical sense considering that she seems to be more of the protecting type, rather than a fighter out to hurt. And now we're getting into a bit of lore heavy territory, but later in the trailer we can actually see what looks like Nile in some kind of special armor resembling parts of the Monado, with the red Ontos crystal on it. Now what's super interesting about this is earlier in the trailer we heard Shulk talking about a certain gift from Alvis, while showing footage of Alvis's red core crystal along with the 2 Aegis crystals. So it actually seems like Alvis himself has gifted his own core crystal and is now being used by Nile for some unknown reason. Now I'm unfortunately not lore knowledgeable enough to wager a guess on why, but it's probably going to be very important to the overarching plot. So lastly we have the 2 Gigachads, Rex and Shulk themselves, to top off the main party. And interestingly enough it seems like quite a lot has happened since we last saw them, as Shulk has lost an arm and Rex an eye. Taking a closer look at Shulk, we can see a striking similarity to his mentor Dunban, sharing an eerily similar pose, a dysfunctional right arm, and it even goes as far as Shulk in Future Redeemed being an invasion tank, the exact same class Dunban was in Xenoblade 1. Now that is just an extremely cool and subtle way to show how much Shulk really looked up to Dunban. I mean it didn't have to go as far as cutting his own arm off to show it, but hey, to each their own. Now another interesting tidbit of information is that apparently Shulk can only wield the Monado with his left hand, meaning that his inorganic side can't use it at all. Why this is isn't entirely known as far as I'm concerned, but I feel it's an important plot point one way or another, and it might have to do with Mecha not being able to wield the Monado at all. And last but not least we got RexRex, who we see saving Glimmer and Nikol from a powerful attack single-handedly, literally because he's only using one hand, just to prove how much of a Gigachad he has become. Rex is an attacker class who dual wields the Aegis swords, and you can't really get much cooler than that, to be honest. Now, even though we don't see a lot of gameplay from this trailer, we do get a sneak peek of what it looks like, and from what I can tell it looks pretty similar to what we had in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, with the exception of having something that looks like a partner attack ultimate, instead of the Ouroboros fusion that we had in Xenoblade 3. Now, this actually looks like a super fun addition that seems to further the token of their respective partnerships, and I can't wait to see how it plays out in battle. Now, we also get another look at the Alvis cutscene with Shulk and Rex that we saw in the first Future Redeem trailer during the February Nintendo Direct, and surprisingly enough, it actually gets revealed that C of all people is standing beside Rex and Shulk against Alvis. I have no idea why this is so funny to me, like, who invited this man? What's his purpose here? To be fair, it's probably just because it amuses him or something. Okay, so something I noticed while editing this video is that there seemed to be some kind of time skip happening in Future Redeemed, as Shulk and Rex having to stay in their injuries yet when confronting Alvis, and Shulk still has pretty short hair compared to the other trailer footage we see, where it looks like his hair is all the way down to his back. So maybe it actually is this fight with Alvis that results in Shulk losing his arm and Rex his eye. But anyways, I think the most important question me and a lot of other fans are left wondering about the most is what happened to the rest of their respective Xenoblade crews. We know that at least Melia, Nia and Poppy are alive, but what happened to the rest? It makes sense for the DLC story to mainly focus on Rex and Shulk as returning characters, as to not oversaturate the cast with old faces, but hopefully we'll get a definitive answer during the game of what happened to everybody. But if I had to make a quick guess, I think it has something to do with the battle that Shulk lost his arm and Rex his eye, but we'll just have to wait and see. But one thing I know for sure is that I cannot wait until the game drops in just a week from now. But be sure to let me know what your thoughts are on the Future Redeem trailer down in the comment section below. And even though I don't typically do this type of content, I'd really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. Alright, bye!